What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, it's just gonna be a simple sit down talking video, but I'm excited about these because these are all just things that I've personally been going through and feel very passionate about. And so I'm gonna go through 7 lessons that I've learned in 2017. Just a disclaimer, these are obviously lessons that I've just been going through and kind of learning along the way, but I feel like they're all pretty general and a lot of you guys can relate to them. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to like keep it vague so that it kind of can tie in with what everyone's going through. So, I wrote them down on a sheet of paper so that I knew exactly what I was talking about. So the first one that I really learned this year, and honestly, I feel like this is kind of the most recent one too that I'm actually going through right now. It's okay to say no, and in many cases, it's the right choice. And by this, I'm not talking about like saying no to drugs, saying no to like hooking up with like those, I mean, obviously 1000%. I'm kind of referring to the smaller moments, kind of more focusing on saying no to the things that will like bring you stress or, you know, don't really benefit you in like a mental, physical way. And so I guess getting into that, basically, I have always been a pretty big people pleaser as far as hanging out with people the second they ask me to do it, or, you know, making a promise and keeping up with it and just piling so much on my plate. And I think this year I really learned that sometimes it's so okay to say no, and especially when you're focusing on other things. And I think, you know, for me, work has been like a huge priority and it's taking up so much of my time. And sometimes as simple as just saying like, no, I'm so sorry, like I have to focus on other things, or I'm working on something, I'm busy, whatever. And it seems so much more dramatic in your head and you think they're gonna be offended, but like, it's so fine. It is so okay to say no. I have another lesson that kind of like falls into this, but we'll touch on that later. And it's kind of about like not being able to always hang out and that sort of stuff, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, anyways, learn how to say no, and it's totally fine. Be okay with it. The next one is taking care of yourself is everything. This is also something that I've recently kind of been going through. I talked about this in one of my vlogs. I'll have it linked down below, but I kind of reached a point where I was spreading myself so thin with so many different things that I was doing and making sure that I'm keeping up with my friendships and my work and this and that. And I reached a point where I realized that I just wasn't spending any time for myself, as simple as like sitting down and watching a movie, or just like taking a bath, or literally anything just to do by yourself, for yourself, and shut your mind off. And I think being mentally healthy and physically healthy is so important. I think it just raises every aspect of your life and makes it better. You feel more confident, you feel more awake, you feel present, you feel ready. And I find that when you just overwhelm yourself and overexert yourself with so much, you're not 100% in everything you do, whether it's like a conversation with someone or some sort of work that you have to do. When you're overexerting yourself, whatever you're currently doing in the moment, you're not gonna 100% be there. And so I think you need that downtime to kind of let yourself recharge. The way that I was explaining it was like driving a car with no gas. Like you gotta go to those gas stations, you gotta fuel up and get that energy, and then go. There's a cheesy metaphor for you guys. The next lesson that I learned in 2017 has to do with keeping your environment clean. And so I wrote, a clean home is a happy home, an inspiring home, a motivating home, an inviting home, a healthy home. I seriously think like having a clean surrounding is seriously like the answer to so many life problems. Even just as simple as making your bed when you wake up in the morning. It changes your entire day. I can't even explain it. It just like, I feel like it just like psychologically, mentally just does something to your brain that's like, okay, you're done resting, it's time to start the day. It's like also like a reward feeling too, because like you finish that one thing and you're like, you know, what's next? I've always been like a very like keeping my room clean and all that stuff, but I guess moving out into my own place and having to upkeep like a kitchen and a living room and everything, yeah, I just find my best days are the days that I wake up and I don't have to worry about where something is or if it's cluttered. And yeah, and also I mentioned it's an inviting home, and I love having people over and being able to just make memories here and not have to stress about like, oh, there's stuff everywhere. So yeah, clean home. Really great point. The next lesson that I learned in 2017, and actually this is something that I've always kind of kept up with, but I'm always constantly having to remind myself this, and I just always am like relearning it. but consistency is everything. This applies to every single aspect of life. Obviously, like working out, eating healthy, that's everything. But even consistency with like making promises and like being a good friend and building any sort of habit. Like if you want to start freaking drinking lemon water every single morning because it's great for your metabolism, then like the way you do that is through consistency. And yeah, it goes with work and school. And I just think nowadays so many people have like short attention spans, or they want things but they're not willing to like work for it, and ultimately it's all the little things that you're doing every single day leading up to that. And so I mean, literally, it's just like consistency. I want this word in neon right here flashing on the screen. It's everything. This next lesson is the one that I said I was gonna bring up about like saying no. I wrote, missing a party, staying in, having #FOMO is not the end of the world. That is a huge thing that I learned this year. I think, honestly, especially moving out too. Before this, I lived in a house with like 3 other people, and so I would constantly be around friends, and I felt like I was able to socialize while still being at home. And now moving alone and living alone for the first time in my life, I really am in control of what I'm spending my time doing, who I'm spending it with. Sometimes I don't really make the best decisions as far as like making sure that I'm kind of hitting each mark, but if there's something that you want and you want to go after that, it is so okay to not go to like some random party or go out and get drinks or whatever. Like you have to be able to make those little sacrifices to ultimately, you know, get to where you want to be. And so if you have to stay in, you gotta work, or like if I have like an audition that I need to freaking memorize the next morning, like there's no chance that I'm gonna go like out to a party or hang out with friends. Oh my gosh, actually, there's a quote that I wanted to read to you guys that has to do with this specific topic. So let me go through and just find it. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. The next one, I'm excited about this one because this one I definitely learned this year. I mean, I've learned all of these like intensely this year. Basically, I wrote down shut up and listen. I think that everyone you meet and come across is a superior to you in some way. There's something they know that you don't know. This feels relative to me because in the city of Los Angeles, I just feel like so many people are always like, oh, well, I've got this going on and I'm doing this and then this, and a lot of people just, without even really realizing it, just talk so much about what they're doing and what they're about and about themselves. And ultimately, like if you're just like having conversations with people about yourself, you're not learning anything. You are literally just a broken record who's just repeating. Like, let your work show for itself, okay? You don't need to talk about it. Anyone you come across, whether it's at a grocery store or you meet someone at a bar or a party or you're hanging out, whatever, you're at work, I think just asking questions and just hearing about, you know, what others know and have gone through and stuff. Like you can learn the most random facts. Like you could learn some random fact about like anteaters and now you know it. You know what I mean? Like it can literally be that simple. Maybe you meet someone that's obsessed with animal documentaries and bam, you know? Or I mean, that's like a very like small example. I think it's a great way, especially coming from someone who never went to college. And I mean, as far as right now, I'm spending a lot of time on work and stuff. And so I don't see that, at least in the near future. I kind of feel like I missed a lot of opportunity to just fulfill my like want for more knowledge, just like random stuff that I don't really ever get to talk about or like experience through my personal like life path of what I do and spend my days doing. I think a really great way of gaining knowledge and just kind of fulfilling that is just getting to know people and hearing what they've gone through and what they're doing. So I like that one. And the seventh thing, the seventh lesson, also I feel so passionate about this one. It's more of like a reminder, but I wrote down remind and reflect. This summer I got super into the 5-minute journal. Where is that? Let me go. Here it is. So I've definitely talked about this in vlogs. Basically, it's just like this little journal template that it's all empty and it has the same kind of layout. And every single morning, it gives you a quote and you write 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make your day great, and then 1 daily affirmation. And it takes 5 minutes, literally no excuses, do it. And then before you go to bed, you've got the shaded part and it says, 3 amazing things that happened today and how could I have made today even better. I don't do this every single day because sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll forget it at home or whatever, but I tend to pick it up and I'll have phases where I'll just do it for like 4 weeks in a row and then I'll like skip for 5 days and then I'll do it anyways. But I find that like the days that I fill this in are the greatest days ever. I don't think you need to go out and buy anything or like do any sort of intense like activity like this, because this can be a little intimidating to some people. I think just like the general practice of construction is not what I'm grateful for right now. That's what it is, right? Street cleaner, street cleaning. I'm grateful for that, but not right now, it's fine. Yeah, it's just kind of like the act of getting into the routine of just reminding yourself what you're grateful for, the blessings in your life. I think that's the biggest thing that this did for me, was when I would have to write 3 amazing things that happened at the end of the day, I started kind of like getting into the mental habit of picking up on those things like the second they happen. So if I have like a really lovely encounter at the grocery store or like something really nice happens, like I remember I'd always be like, oh my God, I'm so excited to write that into my journal. But now it's just kind of becoming a mental habit of like, wow, that was such a cute little like moment. This is like a really not relatable example, but it made me really happy and I just thought of it right now, so I'm sharing it. We recently had our screening event for Versus, and I basically like leading up to having to drive there, I freaking like broke my zipper. My entire outfit was like literally ripped. I had to rip it off of my body. Alexa Lozy, my neighbor, she was like trying to she's my friend. Why did I say neighbor? Because she lives next door, so it just really worked out. Anyways, she was trying to like zip it off. It broke. She was like, it's fine, it's fine. We got a new outfit. She styles me in 30 seconds. So much better than the first look. Very, very grateful for Alexa. But then I was stressed out because I was like running late to the screening and we had to go like take carpet pictures, whatever. The second I stepped on that carpet, they started blasting my favorite song of all time. And it's not like a popular song. It's called Kick, Jump, Twist by Sylvanesso. Literally, like, that is like the song that I label as like my happy song, and it started playing the second I like stepped on that carpet because they were blasting music and it was outside, and I was like, what? Like, it's like those little things that you just start picking up on, and I don't know, it just made me happy. It's like, oh, you're where you need to be right now. I feel like I'm really getting into it with this lesson. I think, yeah, just noticing the good and following that direction. And like anytime you can sense like good energy from someone, play off of them. Like I have like the weirdest random like little like jokes or like stories that happen with like your grocery store like cashier. And so I think just like being more aware of the good, because there's so much good out there, you know? It's all kind of how you perceive things and how you react to them and all of those good things. So those are kind of, yeah, some of the bigger lessons that I learned in 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, if you liked this style, I do this a lot on my vlog channel. I get preachy and way too into it. Yeah, I think sometimes, even if it's not like the most revolutionary stuff, it's a great reminder just to hear it and kind of remember that, you know, I don't know, they're all good things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.